Arjuna is in a miserable position. That is not the position of Arjun, the person. That is the situation of entire mankind. That is the conflict that we all face daily, every day. So first of all, it is not about Arjun and Krishna. It is not about two persons. Arjun and Krishna are both within us. Krishna is not standing in front of Arjun. Krishna is the heart of Arjun.
Verse 18 is giving some characteristics of the liberated man.
Verse 18 giving characteristics of the liberated one. Yes, please.
And it says, who disregards the company of woman as he would a blade of grass. So is that true in the reverse for a liberated woman?
No. This has to be understood very clearly. Our friend has quoted verse 18 that says that the liberated one disregards the company of women as he would a blade of grass. The liberated one disregards the company of women as he would disregard a blade of grass, as insignificant, as nothing, as immaterial. It is very proper hence to ask about this, because this sounds a little prejudiced. When a saint says something, he must say it in our language. He is compelled to speak in words that the commons use, for the simple reason that he is communicating to commons. He must use the same language. When he will use language, language will point to objects. We must not think, however, that he is talking about objects. When a saint says sky, he does not mean the same thing that we do when we say sky. When a saint says truth or God, he is not pointing in the same direction in which we point when we say truth or God. When a saint says understand, he does not mean analyze or conclude. When a saint says woman, he does not mean the same thing that we do when we say woman. Because we believe ourselves to be material bodies, hence when we say woman, all that we intend is another material body of a particular gender. The moment you say woman, what is it that comes to you? A material image. A material image which is feminine. Right? When a saint says woman, it is something else. In Sankhya Yoga, even otherwise also, if you have no background in that, Purush and Prakriti have been taken as the entire existence. Prakriti, which is this entire world, is taken as the cosmic woman, and Purush, who is the witness, is taken as the one man. I'll repeat, this entire world is taken as Prakriti, feminine, and the one witness sitting in the center is taken as the man. That is why saints have often referred to themselves also in feminine terms. That is also the meaning of Krishna having 16,000, which represents an infinity, That is also the meaning of Krishna having 16,000 wives. Prakriti is diversity. Prakriti is all that we see. It is referred to as a woman. Do we see this? Now, if you are asking whether this quotation applies to a woman also, then you are referring to a woman in flesh and blood. We are all women. We are all women. So it applies to everybody. In spiritual terms, everybody sitting over here is a woman and the only man is God. So it applies to everybody. Now, there is another way of trying to approach it. All of us are Prakriti and all of us are potentially the Purush, the witness as well. All of us are what we understand ourselves in worldly and material terms, and all of us are the liberated one as well that the sage is referring to. So, in every material man lies both a man and a woman. So, your flesh, your body, mind, brain, thoughts, all of these refer to the woman in you. And the witnessing pure consciousness refers to the man in you. In that sense, you too are both feminine and masculine, and every woman is also feminine and masculine. Are you getting it? But why did then I say that the entire world is just feminine? Why did I not say that the entire world is both feminine and masculine? The reason must be clear. Because the one that you are identified with is a woman. What are you identified with? You are identified with flesh, blood, thoughts, emotions, relationships. That is what we think ourselves to be. That is our feminine part. And when one goes beyond this, then what one remains is the Purush. Yes, so it is not quite appropriate to say that we are both feminine and masculine. We are practically only feminine. Masculinity is something that remains obfuscated, that remains merely a potential. Now, why is the sage Vasishta saying that the liberated one is indifferent to women as he is indifferent to a blade of grass? Because in this complete separation of Purush and Prakriti lies pure love between these two. The body, which is Prakriti, must keep doing what it must do, and the mind must not try to interfere. There must be pure separation. Let me give you a simple example. The body must decide when to eat and what to eat. Prakriti must take care of itself. Purush must not interfere. When Purush interferes, then Prakriti becomes disbalanced. Similarly, the Purush must not allow Prakriti to influence it. Purush, as we said, is the witnessing intellect. When it is overcrowded by, afflicted by the influence of body, then it becomes attached, and all the life decisions, life choices become distorted. Hence, if you go into it, what is being said is, do not interfere with the world. The world is Prakriti. Do not mess with the woman. Let her be. Today, if you have problems like climate change, today if you have problems like the disappearance of various species. Today, if you have things like overpopulation, today if the oceans are getting polluted and heated up, it is because we have messed too much with the cosmic woman. She must be left on her own to operate. Do you know how far this is compared to our traditional models of spirituality? Usually we talk the language of controlling the body, don't we? Usually we talk the language of controlling the thoughts. What is being said is totally opposite. What is being said is, leave the body alone. The body is the world. The body is material, the world is material. What is being said is, leave the body alone, leave the world alone, leave the mind alone, let them do whatever they want to do, don't mess, don't interfere, don't try to control. You stay separate, you stay away, and that is called witnessing. Let them do whatever they want to do. Don't let your sense of fairness or sense of right and wrong or sense of morality become the judge. You must let the world proceed in the manner in which it would. The body has its own intelligence. The river knows how to flow. The birds know when to wake up. The grass is beautifully green on its own. You don't have to interfere, just as you don't have to interfere when food gets digested in your guts. You don't have to interfere with your thoughts. Thoughts keep tormenting us precisely because we resist them, we interfere. The sage is saying something absolutely radical. He is saying, let it be. Let the drama continue. You have no obligation to control anything. Your only obligation is to stand pure. Your only obligation is to not to get sucked in. And the world keeps calling you. You keep feeling as if you are greatly needed. You keep feeling as if you are greatly responsible towards the world. And when you are greatly responsible, then you are also greatly eager for the credit, and that is ego. The sage is saying, you have no responsibility except one, towards yourself. Stay clean. You know what is the solution to all these problems that the world is facing? The solution is not a man-made revolution. The solution is not some institutional activity. The solution is not some planned action by mankind. The solution is that mankind must step back. If we do not do what we have been doing, would climate change still be there? I'm asking you. To stop climate change, do we have to do something more, or do we have to just stop doing what we have been doing? Yes, please. Do we really have to do something more? Do we really have to arrange conferences and decide on this measure and that measure and benchmarks and concrete actions? We have a particular mind. This mind has brought us to this stage. Proceeding on the same mind, would we be able to get a solution to the problems? The mind and its action itself is the problem. By having more of mental action, how will the problem ever be solved? Please understand, spirituality is not some heavenly mumbo jumbo. The spiritual man is an intelligent man. He knows how to live. He is intelligent in the small actions of daily life. The spiritual man cannot be stupid. The spiritual man could not be just talking about the big things, heaven, God, truth, love, joy, ananda, and be slipping in his daily actions. No. Do we get what the sage is implying? Yes, please.
About conferences and climate change and everything. If you look out the window, one can see garbage in India. Step back means what in this case? Stop throwing garbage in the river and pile it in your home? Like, what would be the solution?
What is the meaning of stepping back?
Yes.
What we call as garbage externally, where does it come from? Does the action come first, or does the center of action come first? Does the action come first, or does the mind from which the action emanates come first? What comes first? The mind comes first. So would it really be wise to talk at the level of actions if the mind remains the same? Garbage outside is firstly garbage
Inside.
Please repeat that. Garbage outside is firstly garbage
Inside.
So now you know what I mean by stepping back. By not having garbage inside, you also do not have garbage outside. And if you are full of garbage inside, then the external garbage will only keep changing forms. The government or the municipality can come up with a regulation that one cannot have garbage here. What would that mean? Would that mean that the garbage has disappeared? No, the garbage is not disappeared. The garbage is only changed places. Some of our most intelligent countries are now trying to dump nuclear waste in outer space. So the garbage remains, it is just that it changes places. Toxic material is tried to be buried in the depths of the oceans. Has the garbage disappeared, or has it just been buried? But you know, it is very tempting for us gross minds to just want change on the periphery. We do not want a change of the center. We say if everything is looking outside as clean and chic, then that means everything is proper. So if the riverside can be cleared of garbage, that means some real progress has been made. And that is our attitude, not only with respect to garbage, but also with respect to our lives. We do not want real change. We only want superficial transformations. When it comes to real change, most of us start shivering. Superficial transformations are all right. I can change my language, I can change my way of walking, I can change my clothes. In the morning, I said, it is so easy to change from executive clothing to spiritual clothing. But has the center really changed? It is so easy to not to be wearing a necktie and instead start wearing some holy mala. But has the center really changed? Spirituality is not about gradual changes. It is not an incremental improvement. It is total dissolution, which means a disappearance of the false center and a movement into the truth. Are you getting it? Stepping back means that I am already doing so much. I do not need new actions. Rather, I need to just see what I am already doing. And what I am doing 24 hours Walking on the street, eating, talking, chatting, sleeping, writing, emailing, calling, watching, thinking, conceptualizing. I am already doing so much. Stepping back means not being attached to all this. What does being attached to mean? All this means being attached to something means being incapable of inquiry. If I am attached to something, I am saying this is me. If I am attached to something, I am saying this is me. And when something is me, then who will inquire? If I am the one who would inquire, then I must be a step away from the thing that I want to inquire. If you want to inquire your life, then you could not be attached to your actions. Then you could not be defensive about them. Then you could not be feeling vulnerable when somebody challenges them. But see how vulnerable we feel and how quickly we close ourselves when it comes to daily life. What happens is that the pursuit of truth or the spiritual inquiry so quickly becomes co-opted by the same ego that wanted relief from itself through spirituality.
Can you repeat it, please? The last sentence.
Why does the ego move into spirituality? Because it wants relief from itself. Ego is a burning mass. It's a restlessness. It wants freedom from itself, primarily from itself. If we dislike something, primarily it is ourselves that we dislike. Don't we? Even if we say that somebody came and let's say hurt us, it is ourselves that we dislike for getting hurt. It is ourselves that we dislike for allowing the other person to have so much power over us. Why could he hurt me? So, spirituality comes when the ego is not at peace with itself, which it can actually never be. So, we move into spirituality, but real spirituality demands a change in center, a change in the point from where you operate. Now that is a heavy price to pay. We say we want all the spiritual goodies while remaining ourselves. I'll remain myself and I want all the spiritual benefits that there can be. So we don't pay that price. What do we do instead? We co-opt the truth. We modify, distort the truth to suit our convenience and plug it in. And that does not help. That is some kind of self-deceit. Would that help? Would that help? Would it help if, let's say, our friend here has come with a set of solid frozen beliefs, let's say about religion, about life, about relationships, about livelihood, about politics, economics, anything. Let's say he has come with those beliefs, but he also wants to listen to what is going on here. What would he do? Tell me, what would he do? He is fiercely committed to his own little self. But because that self is like a thorn, so he also wants some spiritual ointment. What will he do with the ointment? What will he do with all that I am saying? He will interpret it in a way that suits his beliefs. My beliefs are sacrosanct because I am God. Who am I? God. The ego does not agree at anything less than that. The proof of that is that ego uses God to serve its own ends. God the merciful, get me a hot wife. So who comes first, God or me? I'm not saying God, do whatever you think is best. I'm saying God, do what I command you to do. Oh, my command is in the form of a prayer. That is another matter.
Describe it as the witnessing intellect.
Yes.
So do you include the discrimination capacity as part of the Purusha?
Discrimination is there only when there is division. Do you agree? Do you see this? Only when there are distinctions, only when there are two separate entities, then you can discriminate. If there is only one, what would you discriminate against what? Now, all the distinctions exist only in, where do they exist? In the witness or in the world? Where do all the distinctions exist? Where do they exist? Where do you find different things? In the world. So in the world lies the mind that discriminates. Witnessing only means that while this game of picking, choosing, dropping, judging, liking, disliking, taking, giving up will continue, I will be relaxed. All this game will continue. The menu card will be in front of me, I will be ordering something and I will not be ordering something. While ordering, it's okay. Not ordering, it's okay. I am not attached to what I am ordering, and I have no repugnance towards what I am not ordering. Even the discrimination is done within Prakriti herself. The Purush does nothing. He is totally inactive, so passive, just watching the entire dance of Prakriti. You keep dancing, I shall watch. That sounds cool, doesn't it? You keep dancing. It's your job to dance, and mine is to. And we shall not swap our tasks. We shall not make a potpourri of these two. You keep doing what you have to do, I'll keep doing what I have to do.
Yet you say that Shiva and Shakti are not separate.
Yes, not separate. Not separate precisely because Shiv is so still. What will happen if Shiv starts meddling in Shakti's department? Shakti likes to do this and that. She is the play of energy. Does Shiva do anything? What does Shiva do? Sit still. That is their love. That is their absolute trust in each other. She is not worried. What will happen to him? And he is not insecure that she may go out there and get misled or have an affair. Fine. You go, you do whatever you want to do in the world. The world is all yours. Here I am, sitting on my seat, Mount Kailash. I shall not budge an inch. You sit like Shiva, and then you will dance like Shakti. You have both. You are everything. Sit still like Shiva so that you can have all the energy of Shakti. There was something that I once said that was in Hindi, but I would still say this. How many of us know Hindi? Many of us. All right. Even if nobody knew, I would still have said. He said, Hriday mein Shiv, to bhujaon mein Shakti. Hriday mein Shiv, to bhujaon mein Shakti. When Shiva is in the heart, then the arms have Shakti. What do arms stand for? Action. So when there is Shiva here, then there is Shakti here. Shakti incidentally also means power. Only when there is absolute stillness here, then there is power here. Only then you really live. Only then you are really alive.
Sometimes there are times that you really recognize everywhere the divine behind everything that's happening. You understand what I mean?
Please come again.
Yeah, so I cannot combine that with the idea that they are separated, the world and the divine or Shiva or whatever you call it. Because sometimes I experience, not all the time, but sometimes that everything in everybody, I see the divine, and in everything that's happening, I can see some divine power that is working behind it.
Who sees that? No, Shiva or Shakti?
Well, something inside of me
Yes,
recognizes it.
yes.
Yeah, that's what
The one who powers the recognition is Shiva. The one who powers the recognition is Shiva. Keep recognizing, it's all right, fine. There is nothing here that needs to change except man's mind, except the center from which this mind operates. The world is wonderful and all right.
You're saying that a physical man or a physical woman, they both have,
Both.
feminine, actually.
Yes.
They have the potential, the,
Masculinity, yes.
but in the actual gender of man and woman in the world, do you see a difference in orientation?
Yes. That difference in orientation does not mean much. They are just two ends of duality. See, in the realm of Prakriti, there are just dualities, pairs of opposites. There is day and night, there is black and white, there is this and that. Similarly, within Prakriti, the woman, within Prakriti, the cosmic woman, there is also the man and the woman, the male and the female. This male and female, you can both call as female. So you are a female man and she is a female. Before you are a man, you are a female. Before she is a female, she belongs to the cosmic female. The differences that you see in material levels are just hormonal and chromosomal differences. They do not mean much. They are just like the difference between black and white. What does the difference between black and white mean? Nothing. Optical. Getting it?
But yet, like male forms of spirituality often emphasize the transcendent and the abstract, and female, feminine forms of spirituality often emphasize feeling and being in touch with the body.
There are no forms of spirituality, sir. These are just ways to entertain the mind, and in entertaining the mind, one just continues the pre-existing patterns. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. What we are saying is that based on gender, the ways will be different. Then why only based on gender? Then the ways must be different based on everything else, based on color of eyes, based on height, based on nationality, based on age, based on ethnicity, everything. And they indeed must be different. They indeed must be different, and hence there is no point talking of those differences. Even you are not the same that you would be the next moment. So your way the next moment has to be different from your way, has to be different from the way this moment. That way is called right action. Right action for everybody is different at every moment. That everybody could be a male, a female, whatever, a child, an old man, a diseased man, a healthy man, And we are all of that. Are we not the diseased man? Are we not the healthy man? Are we not the rational man? Are we not the emotional man? Are you not changing every moment? And if you are changing every moment, the way that you must have will change every moment. There is no point trying to talk of compartmentalized, definite, rigid ways. Am I saying the same thing to you as I would say to him? Are you saying the same thing to me as you would say to, let's say, the shopkeeper down there? Everything that you do every moment is the way. The way means the right action.
But regarding genders, like perception of reality and brain functions are different between
Yes,
men and
yes. Brain functions are very different between man and woman. And even in a man, are the brain functions not varying greatly within a span of just 24 hours? If you are recorded for an entire day, would you believe that it is the same person who is doing all these things that you did in those 24 hours? We are talking of the differences between the physical man and the physical woman. Yes, there indeed are differences, no doubt. But please see that within the so-called person, there are great differences within 24 hours, within 5 hours. Are you the same in front of your boss as you are in front of your wife? The person changes totally. Are you the same when you are watching a football match compared to when you are sitting in a spiritual session? So there are these great differences. If according to the changed person, if according to differences, there must be different methods, then there must be different methods for every moment. And that is the function of intelligence. To have a new method every second. This new method is called right action. Are we getting it? See, what is meditation? What is prayerfulness? It is a movement into peace. To move into peace, you would not be doing right now what you need to do an hour later. This movement, peace, might mean that you are sitting still and just dedicating yourself totally to listening. Next moment, peace might mean that you are wearing your sandals and walking away. So the right action, which is the method, which is the way, would keep varying. Then what is the point in talking of 5 or 10 fixed ways? We are talking of methods of praying or methods of meditation or spiritual ways, which is all the same. Is it not obvious that the way must be a different way in every different situation and in every different moment? It's not obvious. No? Okay. You are standing in a vast green field. And there are some animals who are roaming around and they are just grazing on their own. And situation 2. You are standing in front of a burning house. Is the right action same in both the cases? And we are saying the right action is the right way. It is the method of meditation. It is prayerfulness. Is the right action same in both the cases?
Prayerfulness?
Yes. Oh, you probably won't find this word in the dictionary, but because the dictionary talks more of prayer than prayerfulness or prayerfulness. Huh? So I'm asking, would the right action be the same in these two cases? Why would it not be the same? Because the world is not the same, you are not the same. So if someone says, here are 10 commandments or here are 100 methods of meditation, would that list, would that manual be of any use? Would life operate according to those 100 situations? Would life operate according to those 10 commandments? Life is so dynamic, situations are changing. And they are not predictable. They will not conform to any model or framework. Or would they? They won't.
So what about sadhanas that people do like every day? Like,
People do so many things.
yes.
Whatever one does has the same quality that his other actions have. If I have not been intelligent in choosing the right way all my life, then how will I choose even the right spiritual way rightly? I come to spirituality because I say that my life choices have gone wrong. I come to spirituality because I find that life is not quite proper. I come to spirituality because I find that there is something missing, just a little, just a little. And if you are the one who could not be proper otherwise, how could then you be the one who would be proper in his so-called spiritual choices? How is it possible? Carrying the same mind, the same center. How is it possible? You are the one who could not choose a t-shirt rightly. How could you choose a guru rightly?
So the center changes before spirituality?
Of course. In fact, it is not before. It is the same. The change of the center is spirituality itself. Now nothing else is needed. One affair after another affair, one boyfriend after another boyfriend, one wife after the next. And I did not know how to take the right decision. But here I know very well which text to read, which master to go to. Here I know very well. And how do I know? I know just as I knew whom to marry. And how did I know whom to marry? Oh, she was sexy, hot. So what will you get from the master? Only that which you got from your affair. Frustration, burning, restlessness, despise, and finally bad memories. But in between, periods of orgasmic pleasure. Aha, come give me a hug. You get that even in your failed relationships, don't you? Do you want a repeat of the same story even now? Most of us do not belong to this place. We have come either from different cities of India or from different countries of the world. Have you come to this place just to play that same old stale record again? Or do you really want something fresh?